This is a training video for SpatialXL version 4 or above, showing how to customize the user interface in SpatialXL. When you've installed SpatialXL, you can display your spatial pane, which usually docks to the right side of Excel. You can move this spatial pane around by docking it in other places, or you can even pop it by showing floating. And if you close it, it will then redock in the previous position. As you can see, there's a default layout that's loaded the first time that you've installed SpatialXL. You can change this layout by simply removing toolbars. For instance, I'm not going to be using this toolbar, and I can just close it. And I'm not going to be using this toolbar, or in fact this toolbar either. You can also turn toolbars on or off by right-clicking in the toolbar area, and you can simply check or uncheck toolbars here. And if you click on Customize, you can even create your own toolbar. And you can add commands to this toolbar as well. You can add items in this toolbar by dragging and dropping from your different commands. Let's say, for instance, I do box intersections quite frequently. I'll just drag and drop that particular command in there. And let's say, for instance, I do this type of selection, and I do select by location. And there I've created my own toolbar with specific functionality that I use very often. You can also drag out commands from toolbars if you're not going to be using them. Again, going to Customize, and let's say I don't need to change projection in my workbook. I'm just going to drag it off like that. You can also put that back by going into your commands again and just dragging that onto here. To save your layout, you can go into Save Layout, and I can call this, give it a name, and if I load this particular layout, it will load everything exactly the way I've set it up before. So this gives you the opportunity to do a layout for use by clients or colleagues of yours, which will not confuse them with functionality that they don't want to see. This layout is also remembered by SpatialXL, so the next time you open Excel and you open SpatialXL, it will load this out. If you have gotten to a point where you've removed too many buttons or played around a bit too much, you can also go back to by loading the default layout. The only difference is your customized toolbars will still be there. Another functionality by going to Customize again is you can actually move buttons between toolbars as well. So I could move this button into that toolbar, move it back into the original toolbar. So you can even move your buttons around. You can also turn on your command window here. It's not by default turned on because it's more advanced functionality. And there you can see the command window appearing. I'm going to turn that off again. And you can also click on Show Layers pane, Data Sources and Minimap. That will turn them on or off. So if you accidentally lost them, you can bring them back. Let's just drag them into position again. And there you go, I've restored my minimap, my layers and my data source control. One other thing you should know about your layout is that if there's a lot of changes made to layout, there can be a corruption sometimes in Excel, in which case when you do load your layout for the first time, you must just hold your Shift key when you click on Show Spatial Pane, and that will clear your layout completely so that you can then reload a custom layout. I'm just going to show you how that's done. So I'm going to close Excel, and I'm going to reopen Excel. And now when I click on Show Spatial Pane, I'm going to keep my Shift key in on my keyboard. So I'm still keeping my Shift key in. And as you can see, there's a very different layout here. This is basically all potential functionality, and it's cleared any type of default layout. I can now go and just load my default layout, or I can load the layout I've set up earlier, and it will restore other layouts. So that's one way to clear layouts if you find that there's problems created by corruption by changing layouts frequently. And that is how you can set up and customize your layout. And just keep in mind that the saved layout that you've got, the one I've set up here called usual, can be moved to other people's machines, and they can then use layouts that you've set up for them. Thank you very much.